there guys, Aaron Jana here for Forever Football, your Doncaster Rovers channel. Doncaster Rovers win 1-0 against Blackburn Rovers. Thank you very much so far, first of all, to everyone who is tuning in for the 3-hour watch-along video live stream on StreamYard. It was fantastic getting you guys' opinions. Shout out to Liam for coming on the stream. Shout out to Harvey, the Blackburn fan, for coming on the stream. And it would be great to see your comments down below about this game. But I'll get off straight away and just start with this. Well done, Doncaster Rovers, because let's look at the scenario from an outsider's perspective here. We had Whiteman out with COVID, Smith out with COVID, Gomez out with COVID reportedly, Taylor out with COVID reportedly. All of them reportedly still suffering under the effects of COVID. Whiteman, Smith, Taylor and Gomez, who was already injured anyway. There was a fifth man as well, we don't know who that is yet. The fact that we had 5 players out with COVID or still trying to recuperate from COVID, and the fact that we had loads of youth on the bench, I'll tell you something now. First of all, second half, for about 40 minutes we parked the bus in my opinion and played 5 at the back for the last 5 minutes, which in my opinion, please don't do that again. But we were put into a position where we had to do that because we were soaking in so much pressure and we had to try and defend it. Tom Anderson got my man of the match today. Absolute rock in that defence. Absolutely rocking that defensive backline with Andy Butler, with Joe Wright, with Cameron John, with Halliday and James as quick CDMs. You know what? People say it's square pegs round holes. I call it versatility, mate. I call it versatility because Darren Moore, in Darren we trust, ladies and gentlemen. In Darren we trust. We put a lot of trust into this manager and he's repaid us with win after win after win. Yes, we'll go off the ball a couple of times, but I'll tell you something now. We'll come back and we'll come back fighting. People thought we were going to get absolutely trampled on. First off, Blackburn grew into the game. We grew into the game. Richards, oh my God, that was a Mesut Ozil-esque finish. It was like he had his 2 options. You saw the goal. He had 2 options. Halliday was running through the gap. Fajiri Okunabiri was out wide. He could have played the pass, could have played it safe. He was like, nah, not today. I'm playing attacking, mate. I'm playing attacking options. I'm not going for the slow, sideways defensive option. Nah chance. Took it on his own. Keeper should have done a bit better in my opinion, but I'll tell you something now. What a goal by Taylor Richards. That was vibes of Burton Albion. 100% that was vibes of Burton Albion. And I'll tell you something now, that was a brilliant goal. But, now this is a big but, and there's a couple of little things I wanted to know. I didn't want to be negative at all in this video because with everything that's gone through the club the past 10 days, I wanted to be positive in this video. There's still a lot of couple... You're allowed to be critical though, you're allowed to look at both sides, you're allowed to look either way. So there's a couple of things I wanted to know. Balcom's distribution of the ball sometimes needs to be a little bit better. Tinsy-wincy a little bit better. But I'll tell you something now. Debut, clean sheet, I'd have snapped your hand off. I'd have been Hannibal Lecter and eating your hand off with that. Debut, clean sheet, I'd have taken your hand off with that. Balcom, well done. Absolutely well done. The double save in the second half. 1 save, 2nd save, straight after the other. That is reactions. That's what Seny Dieng did for us last season. That's what Bursic could have done at times this season. That's what Lumley could have done at times this season. Balcom has all the signs of a great goalkeeper to help us towards the end of the season. Simios, now in terms of his debut, 50-50. I relate to him in a way like Daniel James. Great attacking play, great, technicality about him and things like that and trying to get out of trouble. But football intelligence, that's the big thing for me that lacks with Elliot Simios, and we can train that up. Football intelligence. Look at Dan James from Man United. He is best playing against a team that's wide open with all the space in the world. He's like Neil Armstrong. 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap like a rocket. He needs all the space in the world. He's like a walking on the moon type person, astronaut. But when you're playing a team that will ultra-attack but will not give you the space to run into, that's when you start lacking a football brain. And at times it kind of had that feel to it with Simios. But I'll tell you something now, take Simios out of it, take the distribution from Balcom a couple of times out of it, take the bus for about 40 minutes in the second half out of it. You know what? That was a tactical masterclass from Darren Moore. Now, I'm not going to say in any way, shape or form the second half was enjoyable, because it was pretty much soak up the pressure and defend for your life. But I'll tell you something now. I would never trust us to do part of the bus. I wouldn't trust any team to do part of the bus. Not even Chelsea, and we know how rubbish Chelsea are now. But I'll tell you something now. Part of the bus football, you only do it if you trust your defenders, and if we need to hold on and not waste any more energy on them. If we need to hold off on a 1-0 win for the rest of the game for 40 minutes, you need to trust your defenders to play that kind of football. And in Tom Anderson, Andy Butler, Cameron John, without giving the ball away a few times in the first half, Joe Wright, and Haldane James in front of them, I tell you something now. What a game they all had, especially Tom flipping Anderson. And I tell you what, Ben Whiteman's the club captain, right? But I tell you what, if Whiteman goes in the summer or Whiteman goes in January, who better to slip into that captaincy role than Tom flipping Anderson? I told you about Andy Butler as well. I told you in a previous review that you could throw grenades at him, you could shoot him with a grenade launcher, you could launch an RPG at them, you could try and flatten him with a tank, and he'll crunch your tank up. He'll crunch your Rhino tank machine into like a little sandwich box. He is unbreakable, Andy Butler. Tom Anderson, that was a captain's performance. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Let's get into the player ratings then, before we sort of summarise on what we need to do against Swindon next weekend. So let's start off with Ellery Balcombe. I'm going to give him a 7 overall. I think he was great today. Again, just distribution of the ball a couple of times, but apart from that, overall, I would give him a 7. Wright, he gets an 8. What a way to return, by the way. Joe Wright returning into the starting lineup for the first time since his injury. What a game he's had today. Brilliant, brilliant performance. Tom Anderson, like I said before, 10. 10 out of 10. Captain's performance, man of the freaking match. 100%. Andy Butler, again, to be honest, I'll give him a 9. I'm not even good. I looked on Twitter and Into the Empty Net gave him an 8. I'm going to give Butler a 9. I think he was amazing. I know it's nothing against their ratings, but I'll tell you something now. I give Andy Butler a 9, personally, not an 8. I think he was just as good as Anderson, but Anderson was just that little bit better, which is hard because they were both equally fabulous. Absolutely fabulous, darling. Cameron John gets a 7. Overall was alright. Gave the ball away a few times in the first half, which is something we've been crying out for him not to do. But I tell you what, he'll improve in that, hopefully. But apart from that, he was alright. Brad Halliday, 7. In the CDM role, I think it's not his position. I think he's better as a right back or a right wing, because he gives the freedom to attack. But I know we've had not many options. I'd like to have seen Ravenhill start today. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have liked to have seen Ravenhill start today, but can't complain much. Reece James gets a 6, in my opinion. I think he gets a 6, to be brutally honest. Didn't do as much. Tried to put some passes through, but apart from that, nothing much. Richards, 8. Wonderful goal, great physicality. I was a bit surprised when he came off for Lakilo in the second half, but I'll tell you something now, if it was to save him for Swindon, he did the job. And Graham Potter, if you're watching this, in Brighton over Albion, if you're watching this, please give us the player permanently. We need someone like that when Coppinger retires at the end of the season. Give us that physicality, give us Richards, because if we keep him on a permanent deal on with a few other people, I'll tell you something now, we could be a force to be reckoned with next season if we get promoted to the Championship. Simeos gets a 6 for me. I think overall, apart from running and trying to attack in a few places, I think that overall it was just an okay game. And Okanabiri gets a 7. I think overall had a good game. Nothing too special, but overall good game. John Jules gets a 6. I think there's a couple of times where he could have gone on goal in the first half, but apart from that, not really on show for the rest of the match. Substitutes, Amos gets a 6, didn't have much time to show what he could do, and again Lakilo 6, didn't have much to show what he could do. Now, to end this match reaction, what do we need to do against Swindon Town next Saturday? What do we need to do? Well, what do we need to do? We need to not park the bus. We can't risk that against Swindon. They're where they are for a reason. We need to completely and utterly demolish them. We need to put so much attacking threat on, not leave it completely open. Don't be like Leeds and put a goals fest in the wrong way round. But we need to be open and attacking, and then defensively, let's keep that shape that we had against Blackburn, but don't completely park the bus in the whole game. let's just show that attacking threat, get the game done and won in the first half, play it a bit more simpler, not pop the bus, but just simpler possession style football. Let's get the possession stats a bit up in the second half, and let's just keep it simple. Don't give silly balls away. That's always been one of our Achilles heels, over the past few years, giving balls away in silly places. We did that a few times in the first half. We did it loads of times in the second half. But I tell you something now, Swindon could punish us at any time. You don't want to underestimate anyone. So they could punish us at any time. So it's up to us to not do that. But if we show that attacking intent in the first half and the second half, and keep it simple, keep it nice, keep it fresh, keep it attacking, keep it threatening, then we could do something against this side. We could absolutely do something against Swindon next weekend. So it should be interesting to see what team I'm going to put out. Whiteman could be back, Smith could be back, Gomez could be available for the bench at least, Taylor could be back. The fifth guy, whoever it was, is he going to be back as well? I mean, my guess is as good as yours who the fifth guy is. I'm not going to speculate on all of that because it's a serious situation. But overall, you know what? Fair play to the lads. We did really well. 1-0. We parked the bus for 40 minutes. It wasn't enjoyable, but I tell you what, Blackburn were not critical at all. 20 shots, 2 on target. We had 5 shots, 3 on target. What does that say about us? And their touches stats were much better. Their passes stats were better. Their possession stats were much better. They were good in every department apart from clinicalness. And you know what? We got the result in the end, and we can be happy with that. So hopefully, like I said on the live stream, Monday we should have a watch along to see who we're going to get in the 4th round. Get your thoughts on that. Get some people in the stream. Get your thoughts. Put your comments down below. What do you think of the results today, guys? Please get your thoughts down below. And for now, guys, thank you very, very much for watching this match reaction. Stay tuned and see you guys for the next episode of the channel, which will be a DRFC Daily Reports, probably looking at Moore's press conference reaction after the match. And for now, guys, I'm Aaron Chalner from Forever Football, your Doncaster Rovers fan channel, and that, my friends, is full time.